So yeah, hello and welcome to our second episode of the Jump Smash podcast. I think we forgot to mention the name last time actually. Yeah, so I'm once again joined by the prettiest bald head in all of badminton, Bobby Griffin.
That's a killer intro. I like that, mate. Thank you.
I don't know your competitors. I don't know Toby Bentley maybe.
Yes, definitely. Hey, he shared the podcast last week. Bless him.
That's nice.
Which is really nice of him. Yeah, so I'm gonna send him a direct message this time and just make sure he keeps it going. So hey, Toby, thanks for that. Yeah. What have we got? What have we got in store this week?
So we talked about last time. We all did our all-time Uber and Thomas Cup teams for like the biggest nations: China, Denmark, Korea, Indonesia. For this episode, and I think it's going to be really interesting how many people we have in common on our teams actually.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited by this. I like it. I don't think it. Do you guys have top trumps in Germany? Do you remember that as a kid?
No, I don't remember, to be honest.
Like a card game. It's like I don't know. You might have sports cards, right? And then you've got a big pack of cards, and it's got everything: Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis, and stuff. And it's like we take half the deck, and I play off against you. So I pick a card, and then I say, okay, speed or power or.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I beat you, I get your card, And this is this. I don't think it ever gets old. I think like no matter what age you are, picking your all-time best players, if you're a badminton fan, it's just cool. I think it never gets old, and I love the debates. I love the arguments.
Yeah, same. I think it's the really fun part for me was putting together like men's doubles player from 2000 from now time that we have now with like someone from the early 2000s or something.
Yeah, exactly. I like it, and I think it's tricky with Thomas and Uber Cup, because certain nations have dominated each of those, heavily. Not really going to give much of a look into, in women's badminton, for example, Malaysia, even the USA have done better than England and Japan and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like it's going to be tricky, but I think if we throw in like a Sudirman Cup team at the end, like an all-time best, 5 disciplines, you against me. I'll pick a men's singles player, you pick one, and we'll go head-to-head, and we'll hypothesize who's going to win that match. I think that'll be quite interesting.
For sure.
Okay, that sounds good, Nick.
So, yeah.
What else on this episode? I just want to say we've got Isaak Dalglish on standby. He's not the biggest player in the world, but he's one of the biggest personalities, I would say.
Sure.
And he's going to join us for a chat later. So anyone listening, stay tuned for that. I think it'll be cool. But yeah, mate, how have you been? What have you been up to this week?
Not much. The usual training stuff that you have to do, even though you don't really have a badminton court. So yeah, it's still a lot of cycling, a lot of stability work, all that super fun stuff you really, really enjoy as a badminton player.
I've taken this opportunity these last couple of weeks. I'm not trying to suck up to the physio or anything like that, but I'm getting old. My hips. Like Andy Murray, the tennis player, he's had that hip resurfacing sort of surgery and stuff, and I think it's basically like overuse has started to cause arthritis. Even like in a young sort of person, and that's kind of what I've got. At some point in my life, I'm going to be facing surgery, I think, for it. I'm trying to, I should say, our physio Sinead at Team GB, trying to help me prevent that for as long as possible. And I'm sitting at home with mats and physio aids and stuff, and honestly, I've been hammering this hip, and I'm feeling like loose, man. I think I should go dancing or something tonight. I think I think I could join like a salsa class now or something like that. I think I'm ready.
Yeah, it's going to be hard in the time of social distancing to do salsa dancing because it's like the opposite.
Maybe, I should find like a virtual salsa online or something. Like a silent disco.
Yeah.
I've been to one. It's quite cool, actually. Maybe there's some kind of virtual dance class I should join. I don't know. I'll look into it. But yeah, mate, I've done nothing else this week. I've been bit of training like yourself with the team. Been online. We're using Zoom to join in on some group sessions. Did a fun bike session the other day, and we've got mobility stuff later. And but yeah, I'm still pretty bored.
So yeah, let's talk about some badminton for an hour or a little bit more. Let's see. You want to start right into it?
Yeah, can do. Where are we going to start? Thomas Cup?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Who are we picking? I mean, what are we doing? We're picking a nation, and then we'll try and work out who's got the best squad.
Yeah, I think so. You want to start with, I don't know, Denmark?
Sure.
Ooh, Denmark. I'm just gonna have some hot takes on this already. People are not gonna like this one.
Remind me. Is it 3 singles and 2 doubles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Hey, look, you're the younger man. I'll let you go first.
Okay. For first men's singles, I have Paul Erik Høyer Larsen.
Okay. The famous ripping of the shirt incident, 96, right?
Exactly. Olympic champion.
Okay, good.
I have him for first singles, obviously, winning Olympic gold as a first European ever. For second men's singles, I have Victor Axelsen, world champion. For third men's singles, I have Peter Rasmussen, also world champion.
Okay.
So no Peter Gade. So
I was going to say, interesting. That's the only change. I mean, I must admit, I've got Victor. I think that might be the sort of the contentious choice. You know, he's still fairly young. He hasn't achieved as much yet as he's going to, I'm sure. But I thought that was my sort of wild card. I've got Axelsen in there. I've got Paul Erik Høyer as well. But I've got Gade. I think Gade for me does it over Rasmussen.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like he never won a big one. I know he played in the times of Lee Chong-wei and Lin Dan, so it's really hard to win the world championship when Lin Dan has 5. But still, like he had never won any super big titles besides one All England championship.
But like you say, his time he's up against Chong-wei, Lin Dan, Tawfik Hidiat. You know, I think that level, like those 4 at that time, were sort of head and shoulders above anything that we've ever seen before. And I think Gade having to compete against those guys made it more difficult for him than... I know this is just our view, right? We're just a couple of buddies chatting, right? So anybody listening, you know, don't take offense if we say something outrageous here, but I don't think Rasmussen or Paul Erik Høyer had that standard to compete against week in, week out throughout his career. Personally, that's just my view.
Yeah, it's a fair view. I just wanted to start with a hot take also. It's kind of fun to like get some people going, maybe to not choose Gade. He's a great player, but I'm the man of the like win a big one. Like that's like kind of my thing that I want.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's debatable. I think for me, that famous trick shot that Lin Dan caught, that was Rasmussen, right? He caught Rasmussen out with that sort of double action forehand cross lift thing that he did. For me, getting caught by that, the embarrassment of it, that's going to go down in history as the guy showing off Lin Dan's unbelievable talent. I think, you know, that's got to be demoralising. And I think if I was going to pick a team in a big game and you're putting Denmark up against China, for example, in the final, I'd rather Gade takes on Lin Dan than Rasmussen. But that's just my view.
Okay, so who do you got for the double spots?
I'm going to go with Mathias Bo and Mogensen. I think, I'm going to put them at first doubles. Arguably, I'm not really sure first and second, but because it's really close. But I think Lars Pask and Rasmussen for the second doubles pair. Whoa, my watch is talking to me. Ignore that. Yeah, so I mean, this could be completely different. These two pairs compared to yours. I don't know. What do you think?
I actually got the exact same spots.
Okay.
So I just think Mogensen, Bo, they just done it for a long time. A lot of achievements, like Olympic medals. Like Denmark, we always think of them as a they have good men's doubles, but none of them really got to the ultimate top like Bo and Morgensen did actually. Like Paske and Rasmussen, they won like I think one world title.
Yeah, they won a few big. They won some really crucial games. Do you know what I mean? Like 28-26 in the third kind of efforts against the best in the world, and they've done that a few times. And I think that puts them up there as a good choice for who you'd pick in a crucial, tough match. Yeah, I like it.
But I think there's not really that many men's doubles pairs. They're always kind of good, but none of them were really at the top like these two pairs. So I think it was kind of an easy choice.
We both ignored in the singles. We both ignored the man that took Denmark to that Thomas Cup win a few years ago. HK Vittinghus, I think. He's not one of the best Danish badminton singles players we've ever seen, but on a big occasion, he pulled it through for Denmark that day. I think he was almost responsible for carrying the team, and I think he deserves a mention. Janne same deserves a mention, but yeah.
For men's singles, they have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anders Antonsen, even World Championship finalist.
Absolutely.
So, for men's singles, they have a lot of good choices. So, you want to pick the next nation?
Should we go with China?
Yeah.
China. Okay. Okay, Lin Dan. Let's just both put that out. We both picked Lin Dan without.
Lin Dan.
I'm going to put my life on that. I mean, second and third though. I mean, there's so many. I think I'm going to go with Chen Long. I think he deserves a spot. He's achieved more than other Chinese players in the recent badminton history.
For sure.
Third choice, however, it's a huge debate. There's so many to choose from. Who have you gone with? Both Lin Dan, Chen Long?
Yeah, I have them both. For third men's singles, I have another player that's a little bit out there.
Okay.
I have to say. So I have for my third spot, I have Zhong Jiong.
Okay.
Basically, just for his para-badminton roots also, so kind of a sympathetic choice, because he's now the national coach for the para-badminton team as well, and he built all the facilities there from his own money and stuff. I read from an article on BWF, so yeah, it's a bit of a sympathetic shout out, and he's also Olympic silver medalist, good men's singles player. I mean, there's a million men's singles player to choose from, but I just wanted to give him a little shout out, and I think China probably already won when we get to the third singles, so who cares?
That's probably right. Depending on the order they're going to play it, yeah, you might be right. I think in history, all time ever, I think men's and women's, it's going to be a huge shout. Anyone to beat China in the all-time Thomas or Uber Cup, I think they'd have to, it takes something special, really special. Well, I can't argue with you there, Dan, especially you've picked somebody close to your heart and picked close to para-badminton. Let's go with that. I like it. Men's doubles, Kai Yun, Fu Haifang. I think they'd probably be my top pick.
I personally split them up just for the fun of it.
Okay.
Fantasy pair. I have Kai Yun and Li Yongbo.
Yeah.
And I have Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan.
Yeah, the problem I've got, I think Kai Yun and Fu Haifeng were a better pair than when Fu Haifeng played with Zhang Nan, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
And for that reason, I think if you're going to, like you say, if we get to the second doubles or the third singles for China, then, another team's playing so well to get that far. But, yeah, for me, I think I want to see the best play, and Kai Yun and Fu Haifeng for me were a stronger pair. But Li Yongbo's an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a player that has a shot named after you, I think you have to be on the all-time team.
Okay.
I don't know if you call it the same in England, but in Germany, if you have this deceptive smash where you just hold it at the last second and play a drop shot. We call it a Yongbo.
Okay, a little bit like is it Watanabe's sort of drop shot?
Where you just deceptively at the last moment stops his racket and plays a soft behind the net drop. In Germany we call it a Yongbo drop.
Okay, no, I don't think well, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just I haven't heard of it being called that, but I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go and chat to the guys and see if any of them call it the Yongbo. But yeah, for me these days, I think Watanabe is one of the best in the world at that disguised soft drop. It really gets up, fast action, and then slows everything down at the last second. I like it. Yeah. Okay. I like it. Okay. I think we're in pretty much agreement on China. I mean, I can't. Yeah. There's so many to choose from. I think we'd just be arguing here all day as to why. And I think there's more fun to be had if we're talking about players from Indonesia, Malaysia, even Korea. Yeah. Let's move on. Pick a nation.
I'm gonna go with Indonesia then.
Okay.
And I got for singles Taufik Hidayat.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Haryanto Abi.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I got Adi Viranata on third singles.
Wow. Okay, this is interesting. I struggled here because I don't remember enough. This is just me. I don't remember enough top quality Indonesian players personally. Watching them play over the last. I mean, there's plenty now. I love watching Jonathan Christie. I love watching Anthony Ginting. You have to pick Taufik Hidayat for what he's achieved in his style of play, and that backhand, oh my god. But there's so many to choose from. Otherwise, that I think again a bit like China, you could argue for so many players through the 90s and through the 2000s for Indonesia. Tommy Sugiarto, for example, he's okay. He's never been the very best, but he's been up there, and he's put in some incredible performances. I think he's worth a mention. But for me, the fun comes in doubles for Indonesia.
For sure.
And actually, I think something again close to my heart. I think in the late 90s, somewhere around 97 to 2001, 2002. I really started to get into badminton. It was quite late. I was around 20. I was just going to university and stuff. But that's when I really took a proper interest in it. A really fine interest in top level and the skills and the techniques. So I started quite late. But All England final, I think I watched them play twice. But Chandra Wijaya and Sugit Buriato, they made me fall in love with the game of men's doubles. And since then, that's my favourite event in the game is the men's doubles, and I think it's down to those two, Wijaya and Buriato. And I know they've played with different partners, and you can't mention those guys without mentioning Tony Gunawan as well.
I have him.
Yeah, he's my first pick for doubles. I mean, he for me is above Marcus and Kevin.
For me personally, Tony Gunawan is probably the best men's doubles player of all time.
Possibly right. I think you can sort of help prove that by the fact that he became a US national. He went and lived in the USA and represented them and won Olympic gold for the USA with a guy that I couldn't name in another sentence. I don't know who this other guy was. And he played top level with. No offense to Americans at all, but you wouldn't normally be talking about American players as the best badminton players in the world. I think we can all agree with that. And yet he won the Olympic gold, beat some amazing players with this American partner. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, that's for me as well. And just this consistent way of playing. He's just so talented, so consistent. To me, I have in my first men's doubles together with my second favorite player of all time, Henra Setiawan.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why. Absolutely.
And then I have the most fun men's doubles of all time, probably Rexy Meinaki and Sigrid Bodiato at second men's doubles.
Do you know Rexy lives in the UK now? He's been coaching various different performance centres and universities and stuff. So we've been honoured, privileged enough to meet and train with him a few times. He's done quite a lot of work down at the Nottingham University, for example, and we're not that far from here. So we've got some friends that are at that uni and train with him, and we go down and join him. What a fun guy, man! He's amazing.
He's really fun. He's the best.
Talented and feeder. His wrist so strong. It's frightening. It's scary.
Yeah. He's on my all-time exhibition team squad. That's for sure.
We saw him play the Legends. Do you remember?
Yeah.
In Japan at the Japan Para Badminton International 17, 18, was it? I can't remember. And the Legends tour came, and Rexy joined in with Lin Dan, Chongwei. It was he's so funny.
Yeah, and Budiato as well. Like he started the whole trend with like gripping your frotte grips all the way up.
Yeah,
way too far up your racket.
I do that. I have done it again. It's something I've always done.
Yeah, same. It's like people started doing that right after that. I think all the way through my childhood playing badminton, I did it the whole time.
Well, I still do it. Me and Jack Shepherd sometimes does it too. Actually, it's I think it helps my doubles. That third shot, that serve. They play a second shot. I try and intercept the third.
Yeah.
Having that grip high up the racket and a very small grip to enable your fingers to move fast and intercept. I think it's got a right to be there. Personally, if you're a doubles player. This isn't in the team. Lastly, but I think it's worth a mention. Rudy Hartano. What an incredible player he was for Indonesia. I think again, there's so. I was at the World Juniors 6 months ago, and they've got some incredible players coming through. Even now, young players coming through with the same kind of mould as Marcus and Kevin. There's young guys called Leo Carnando and Daniel Martin. They're going to be ones to watch for the future. They've got that sort of low, flat game where they just refuse to lift the shuttle, and it's so good to watch. So much skill. And I think they've been playing that way throughout their history. The Indonesians pride themselves on it. It's a style of play, and like you said, it's the most fun to watch.
And I, to be honest, when I think about it, I have Indonesia beating China.
Yeah, well, they've won more Thomas Cups than China. I think they've won. I think I was looking. They won 13, if I'm right, and China's around 10.
Yeah.
Arguably, it's tough because you put the very best Chinese players ever against the very best Indonesian, and it's tight. I think
it's going to be a close match for sure.
I think we're looking at the final. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like the other nations all have like a whole at like maybe second men's doubles or like third men's singles where you just have like a world-class player in Indonesia and China, and then you get a little bit more iffy in the other nations. Yeah,
I think you're right. Okay. Tell you what, let's pick. Should we pick one more? This is going to take forever if we keep going. I think we could be here literally all day, which is fun for me, but I'm not sure how long we can keep Dalglish waiting, and how long anybody listening is gonna stay tuned in. Should we pick one more country for men's? And no offense to anybody, but I'll let you pick. Whether you want to go with Malaysia, Japan, Korea. I mean, who are we going with?
I like Korea.
Okay. You just want to talk about Lee Yong-dae.
True.
Me too.
And another person that I have twice.
Okay, go for it.
Playing two games. I have on my first men's singles. I have Sean Seong Mo from the 2004 runner-up at the Olympics.
Yeah.
For my first singles, and for second singles, I have Park Yo-bong, who I also have to play, or as also playing my first men's doubles. He's mainly known as a men's doubles player, as you may know.
Yeah.
But in Thomas Cups, he always played also singles.
Wow. That's a talented guy.
He's kind of... And for third men's singles, I have the guy who's retired countless times, Lee Hyun-il.
I've got Lee Hyun-il. Yeah. I'm putting him second. He's my second singles. He's... I think Son Won-ho deserves a place for me. I think his style of play and how he changed from a very defensive sort of consistent player into something a lot more attacking as he got older, and that proved to be some of his best results. I just love his style of play, and I think that game is modelled on Lee Hyun-il. I used to chat with Dan Bethel in our team here. As I was commentating, Lee Hyun-il was sort of on the back end of his career. Like you say, he's retired so many times, and he went outside of the national team and carried on playing as a professional. I love the way he moves around the badminton court, Lee Hyun-il. Yeah. He's so smooth, so effective and economic. And Son Won-ho is similar, I think. And I think, like you say, Park Ji-bong's got to be worth a shout in the team. Whether it's singles or doubles, I don't know. But, yeah.
I have him with Leon Day. Then I have Chin Baek-chol and Ha Taek-won as another men's doubles.
Okay. I found this tough. I think I like Kim Dong-moon, and although he probably achieved a little bit more in mixed doubles, he also won golds at events in men's doubles, and he was such a good player.
Olympic champion.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kim Dong-moon in the team. Lee Young-dae. I think Yu Young-sung with Lee Young-dae, I think it only works so well because he's got Lee Young-dae next to him.
Yeah, I agree.
He's such a solid player. He's very good. But they complement each other so well, and I think Yu Young-sung without Lee Young-dae is perhaps a different player. But again, you put Lee Young-dae with anybody that's, a big hitter around the back, fast, athletic, powerful, and I think Lee Young-dae is possibly one of the best players I've ever seen. He's one of my favourites to watch.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Let's just do the all-time Sodiaman Cup team then as well, and then get Dalglish on call, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the Uber Cup another week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Dalglish, if you're still listening, I hope you are. We're going to bring you in a minute, and you can put your thoughts on this, Dalglish, too. How are we going to do this? Because I've got a huge debate in my head, and I'd like to just kick it off because I'm hoping it doesn't take too long. But can we just start with the men's singles?
Yeah.
Because I've just got a theory that you're going to pick somebody different to me. And I'd like just to have this quick, short debate. But men's singles, for me, my all-time ever Sudirman Cup team, and this is any era, any nation, and we can have a Malaysian playing with a Japanese player as a doubles pair, for example, from different eras. So this is how we're playing it. This is how I see this kind of top trumps thing going. My team against your team. But my men's singles pick is Kento Momota.
Yeah, I have Lin Dan.
I thought you might. I didn't want. People could be. I mean, people are going to be calling me crazy, right? I know that, and I know Lin Dan's the most accomplished, the greatest player ever. He's achieved the most in badminton, and blah blah blah. I know all of that. However, Lin Dan at his peak. Let's call it the 2008 Olympic final. Yeah, the best performance we've ever seen from a badminton player, possibly. Yeah. I think that's probably the peak of Lin Dan's career. I'm going to argue that if the 2019 Momota played him in that final, he could be the only person ever to actually beat him at his best. Pick Momota's best match ever, and there are many. And I've struggled to think of one like we've just done with Lin Dan. But the best Momota, I think, is possibly the only man I can think of that can beat the best Lin Dan. And that, again, it might be just me. Again, I was chatting with my right-hand man, Bethel, the other day about this, and he was sending me some links as to, theories on this subject. But I think if Momota can take it to 3, he's got it. I think Lin Dan will have to win that match in 2 sets, 2 games.
I think he will. My argument is, Lin Dan has won 5 world championships and 2 Olympic gold medals, when the era is called the 4 Kings of Badminton, with Geide, Taufik, Lee Chong-wei, all those guys, and he just demolished them every single time. Like, he beat Lee Chong-wei in every big final. He basically never lost in a big match. So if we play on the biggest stage, Lin Dan against Kento Momota, I just like to have Lin Dan on my team. And I think his attack is too strong, and I think he's going to figure out a way to just outplay Kento Momota, because, to be honest, there's not one person that ever outplayed Lin Dan in a big game. And also the era that is Kento Momota playing in right now, I have to argue, no disrespect to those guys, but I think right now the men's singles is not the strongest. I think there's a couple of good players coming up, and they're all still really young. So maybe in 5 years we talk about another golden generation of men's singles players right now. But yeah, I just think Kento Momota's opponents are just not as strong as Lin Dan's opponents were, if you know what I'm saying.
I get your point. I do. But I think there's a couple of things. I think firstly, Momota's 25, right? He's still got another 5 years, hopefully more, playing at the top level. Possibly 10 years. You know, we don't know how fit these guys are in the modern era and how long they can keep going for. But he's going to achieve a lot more. I think, yeah, arguably, the level, the standard of play right now isn't as high as when Lin Dan was at his peak and he had the likes of Tofik, Geda, Chong-wei playing against him. Maybe, yes. But in saying that, Momota's just won 11 out of his last 14 tournaments. You know, he's Mr. Consistent. His defense is some of the best in the world. Now, I'm not saying his defense is enough to cope with Lin Dan's attack, and also Lin Dan's defense is also incredible. However, I think my reasoning is more to do with his style of play and his consistency, his shot quality. I think his consistency and shot quality is actually better than Lin Dan's. Also, he doesn't have much of a weakness. I'm not saying Lin Dan's got weaknesses necessarily.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what's Lin Dan's weakness?
Arguably, when Lin Dan's late in his backhand corner, he's not as good as other people. I don't think he does enough when he's late, when he's put there. He neutralizes back towards the net, you know, that sort of straight, fast drop almost every time. Almost. He doesn't go across that much. He doesn't clear out from there that much. And when he does, the quality is not as good as when Momota does it. And I think if you can neutralize Lin Dan's smash and follow-up kill, I think you can have him. And I think Momota could do that. I believe he could do that. You look at times when Momota's played big hitters like Axelsen, for example, he just stops Axelsen being able to smash. He just doesn't give him that opportunity that much. And I think if he can stop that, Lin Dan hasn't got enough of the rest of his game about him to beat him. We can. I mean, I'm going to look forward to people's comments if there are any on that, and they can debate it with me. But I think, like I say, if you can pick up one of the first or second games off Lin Dan, and I think Momota could, then I think he could take him in the third with that consistency and that shot quality that he's got.
Yeah, I think you're suffering from recency bias here. I think you have to do some homework and watch some 2006 to 2012 Lin Dan matches.
Man, I just love put today's Momota back 12 years and into that final and just see what happens. I think
somebody built a time machine to make it happen.
I'd love that. Okay, anyway, that's the big debate. You know, we'll see. I might be giving you that as a 1-0 lead to the end of this. We're best out of 5 here, right? We've got 5 disciplines.
Yeah.
Let's go with women's singles. Who's your pick?
I have Carolina Marin.
Oh, damn you! So do I. I've got a question mark / Wang Yihan next to her name, but I went with Marin. She's my top pick. And
I had who did I have as my other? Zhang Ning. That's what it was. I have her as my other pick for.
Yeah, there's again. I had to pick a second place sort of and it was from China. It had to be. I mean, yes, Tai Su Ying's great, but she hasn't achieved as much yet. But what Marion has achieved, and if we're talking about like an all-time Sudirman Cup, right, and we're talking about the emphasis of the Olympics and the World Championships and a £5 million prize fund for each discipline, and said this is like the golden event, and we picked all these players from all of their different eras, let them play at their peak, and played my team against your team. How much this is worth, who are you going to pick? That's why I picked Marin, because she is the big game player.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're gonna host an Olympics in the last 15 years and put a player in that final to represent you for the chance of winning £5 million, who are you going to pick? I'd pick Marin. I don't think she's necessarily the most talented player, but what she achieves and how she prioritises the big events. She doesn't come out like plays everything, right? Over the years, Lee Chong-wei plays everything, just turns up week in, week out and plays. She kind of goes back to training. She focuses. She wants that Olympic gold. She wants that World Championship. And she's the most accomplished. She's won the most majors, I think.
Exactly. That's like I hear from all different countries, we don't have good sparring partners, so we can't get into the world class in certain disciplines. And she's the person that just proved that you can just do it with hard work, determination, and just put everything you want, everything you have into that goal. You can be the greatest player of all time, no matter what country you're from. Yeah,
I completely agree. And she's a force to be reckoned with on court. She's just domineering. She's aggressive. She's scary. And who wants to play against that? I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Next pick. What are we going with?
Men's doubles.
Men's doubles. Okay. Shall I go first?
Sure.
Okay. We mentioned both of these guys already, actually. But Tony Gunawan, I agree with you earlier. Possibly the best men's doubles player there has ever been. Possibly there will ever be. It's who does he play with, and that's the big question for me. Now, my theory on this is that, like we said, huge prize fund, the greatest badminton event ever. Who am I going to pick to beat your team? Tony Gunawan, he's an all-round player, but I think his strengths lie mainly in the mid to forecourt, sort of net play, his skill, his quality, his consistency from there. And so I need somebody big and strong to play with him, somebody athletic, somebody hard-hitting. And I've gone with Fu Haifeng.
Interesting.
Over to you.
Yeah, I went actually with the exact same players.
Oh,
I had the exact same thought process. Like, I have this guy who's amazing at the front, and I need probably the biggest smash of all time.
Possibly.
So I went with them, but I have some other pairs that would be interesting as well.
Yeah, man. I honestly, this is my favorite event, and I wrote down so many names, and in the end, I just had to pick. I had to go with Gunawan, and because I'd picked him, I then had to think of somebody to play with him. I mean, I could have gone with Lee Young-dae. I just love watching him play.
But I just think he's not as good.
I couldn't put him with Gunawan. They would lack something to hit through people.
Yeah, I agree. And there are, like, you could put like Kim Dong-moon maybe with someone.
Well, do you know what? I've got him featuring later. But yeah.
That would be interesting. Good. Then let's go with mixed doubles then, because I don't have Kim Dong-moon. I have someone completely different.
I went with Kim Dong-moon in the mixed. I like, again, it comes from the heart a little bit, but I like the guy. I've been out to Korea a few times, commentated a few times, and he's been there commentating next to me doing the Korean TV, I guess. What a nice guy as well, and I think that's biased me slightly towards the person that he is, as well as he was such a good doubles player. He just looked like a true professional. somebody you could rely on. And in a big event like this, I think he's the guy that I'd want to pair with the female mixed player who I'm going to put that's going to dominate the front of the court to beat you. I was torn between two major players. I mean, I wrote down loads, but two came to the forefront. And I'm gambling a little bit, yeah. And I think I'm going to be picking probably two players here that you wouldn't have picked. But Kim Dong-moon, and I'm going to play him with Hwang Yakyong, the current world mixed number one. Because, like I said last week, she, I think, is possibly the best mixed doubles player, female, there's ever been. Possibly. Or at least by the time her career is finished, I'm hoping she proves herself.
Well, that's very interesting, because I got a partner as my men's player. I have Zheng Ziwei.
Okay.
And I paired him with Indonesia's Liliana Natsir.
She was my second. I've got Hwang Yakyong / Liliana Natsir. I think some players in history will, and I don't mean any disrespect to their partners, but there are some players out there that if you was able to pick another very top player to go with them, they would be potentially the all-time best ever. And I think there's some players out there like Lee Yong-dae. I just don't think he's had the best ever partner you could have ever put him with. And if you had, I think he would dominate the game. Liliana Natsir is the same. I mean, no disrespect to her partner she's played with, but she's incredible. She's scary good.
Yeah, I mean, she has like almost the most. I think she has the most wins in World Championships history.
Yeah.
And she had two different partners to do it. She has like two with Nova Widianto and two with Tantawi Ahmad. And to be honest, since Liliana Natsir retired, have you ever heard again of Tantawi Ahmad?
No, well, this is my point. I mean, if you put one of the world's very best mixed doubles male players with Liliana Natsir, I don't think she could get beaten. And I don't think, no offense to Ahmed, but I don't think Ahmed was, he's not top 5 best badminton players ever. But Liliana Natsir is.
Most definitely.
But like I say, I like the way Hwang Yakyong plays. I think she's something special.
I mean, 10 years from now, I might go back on this episode, and I look foolish to even think about Liliana Natsir.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be tough. I mean,
I think it's just going to be explosive, like having him at the back and her controlling the front court.
Well,
she has nice defense as well. Like she can just change her rally with her defense as well.
I think the thing that sort of just swayed the balance for me in that debate was the anticipation. Hwang Yakyong's anticipation is the best I've ever seen, I think. And also it's hard because I think there's some potential left. She's still young and there's many years to go. And that's what also... I like that idea. I'm an optimist, you know?
Definitely.
Okay, last event, women's doubles. You go first.
I have an all Chinese women's doubles.
So do I.
I have Gao Ling and Zhao Yunlei.
I've got Gao Ling and Chen Qingchen. And again, similar to Hwang Yakyong, my thought process.
Picking the young guns.
Yeah. I just... If it's me against you, right? Big match day, my team against your team. I think you'd be more scared of the potential of Chen Qingchen or Hwang Yakyong. What performance they're going to put in will give you more to think about. Whereas I'd walk up and go, okay, you're playing Gao Ling and who did you say?
Zhao Yunlei.
Zhao Yunlei. I know what I'm getting. I've seen her play a million times. And I think...
Exactly.
Well, good point. Good point. I like Zhao Yunlei, don't get me wrong. For me, Chen Qingchen is, again, somebody that... I mean, we're talking about the very best ever in badminton, right? So there's not going to be a huge difference between them. We expect these matches to be close games. They're not going to be easy. However, I think Chen Qingchen has got this attitude when she walks on court. When she's up for it, I would hate to play against her. She'd just scare the life out of me. And I think Zhao Yunlei's too nice. She's good, but she's too nice. Um,
If Nice gets you that many Olympic gold medals and World Championship gold medals, I'm down to be nice.
well, again, young guns. We're talking about young guns. Chen Qingchen is the most accomplished young player there's ever been in history by miles. She won 8 junior World Championship gold medals. 8. That's just insane.
That's a lot of medals.
She won 3 gold in her year when she was 18. Obviously, it's an under-19 event. She won women's doubles. She won the mixed doubles. She won the team event. She did the same thing, I think, the year before. She won 1 gold the year before that when she's 3 years young. And when she was 15, she won a gold. 15. Now, she's world number 1 right now. She's won everything, I think. World Championships. I'm not sure about the Olympics.
She has 1 World Championship gold medal and no Olympic. But she's so young, there was no Olympics now for her, I think.
Right. So, I think you put somebody, again, strong, powerful, consistent behind her, then I think attacking wise we'd be on top. She's also great in defence. She's a good athlete. She can keep it going. I think Gao Ling, we both picked. I was on the fence with Lin Ying, going back a few years. Again, another very accomplished Chinese badminton player. And I'm not surprised we went all China with the women's.
They've dominated for the last 20, 30 years, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just now that there's some cracks in that wall.
Yeah, I think they've wobbled a couple of times. 2010 when Korea won it, and then more recently, when was it? Japan have got stronger lately. I mean, we're talking about Uber Cup maybe next week or the week after. But yeah, China. I think they won 10 out of 11 or 10 out of 12 Uber Cups, and that's every 2 years. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Is it a good time to bring Dalglish in? I'm sure he's still sat there waiting. It would be interesting to hear what he's got to say on this subject too.
Yeah, I want to bring him in. We can just maybe go a little bit long.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me see if this works. Jan, I'm gonna invite him to this call. What do I do here? Dial pad?
No.
Have you got him on?
No, I don't have him. You have to put him on. Or give me his name, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I find him.
It's calling. He's coming in. Okay.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome, Mr. Dalglish.
Yeah, right.
Welcome.
Hello, Jan. Good morning. Good morning, all.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. Yourself?
I'm all right. For anybody that doesn't know, SH6, Spanish International 2017 bronze medalist. That's my highlight for you of your career. What's your
2018?
Was it 2018? I'm sorry, mate. 2018. Have you ever played a better game of badminton since or before?
Against the quarterfinal against Chun Wong.
Yes.
That's right. No, that was one of the highlights. One of the breakthrough tournaments, let's say.
Tell us, Dalglish, how's life right now? You're on, like the rest of us, we're on this coronavirus lockdown. I mean, you were meant to be just graduating, right, this year?
Correct. I was meant to be coming up to my final few months within university. I was going through my dissertation and all that stuff, and everything was going well until about February. Obviously, we heard about the news about this coronavirus in China, but I think, like, for me and the rest of this country, we thought nothing of it. And then a few weeks gone by, and then we just got an email saying basically we had to leave our university, basically cancel our accommodation contract and move home. And that was all in 24 hours. And then we had tons of emails saying everything's going to be done online now, and we'll contact you further regarding graduation and further results. And then that just brings me here today, just completing uni work, and then obviously being a bit up in the air regarding the future. So.
Yeah, it's scary times. We're loads of the news this week has been on how 2 countries in particular have handled this virus situation, pandemic, so well. One of which is Korea, and the other one is Germany. And yeah, I mean, do you feel that at home? Because like we're all saying, well, how come the Germans have done it for a while and we're still sat here like proper lockdown? I'm getting stopped by the police when I drive to the shops, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a decent job, I think, as a country to just realize that what the problem is, and we still have restrictions and stuff, but I think we've done a good job, like doing all the basic stuff, like washing your hands properly, don't meet more than 2 people at a time, and I think our health system in general is just one of the best in the world.
Yeah,
so
I think
our death rate is really low, so I think that's what people are getting at.
I think it's a German sort of trait, tendency to
We love rules, man. We love
happy
rules.
to follow the rules. Exactly. Yeah. Whereas we're like, fuck you, man. We're not. You know what to do. We're going to do what we like, and then we realise later, maybe we should have followed the rules. And
exactly. So
I think
why we have a country that, and with our history of being a bit of a country that has a problem with like strict dictatorships, like putting people on lockdown is not really a thing we like to do. So we're trying to be more subtle with it, just not really have telling people not to have a lot of contact with other people, stay in your homes. I think people are just happy to follow it because they're new rules. We love it.
Dalglish, were you able to hear a lot of the stuff we were talking about before?
Yeah. I was listening.
We were picking our all-time Sudirman Cup teams, so best player or pair of each of the 5 disciplines. Did you agree with most of it? Would you have picked anybody different?
Yeah, I'd agree with most of it. But you know your debate about Lin Dan and Kento Momota.
Oh, here we go. Go on.
Would you not argue Lee Chong Wei would not be up there when he was in prime as well?
Okay, interesting. He is one of my. Growing up, he was my favourite player.
Like technically as well.
Again, it's one of those. I like the guy. He just seems so like a true professional and very good player, very dedicated athlete. But he wasn't as good as Lin Dan. And I think that's the problem we've got, is that if you're going to go up against Lin Dan, he's going to lose. And that's where, I think Jan would argue that would fall down, that argument. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
So who do you have, Lin Dan or Kento Momota?
Kento Momota.
Yes, Dalglish!
So these recency bias people.
I love it. Where did that put us, Jan? We had the same mixed... No,
the same men's doubles, basically.
And the same women's singles.
Yeah.
So those 2 are draws.
Mixed doubles would be interesting. What's your take, Isaac?
Both of your shouts. What? Remind me what both of your shouts was again.
So
I had
Kim Dong-moon. Yeah.
Do you even know who that is? I'm going to ask that question just to start with. I don't mean any offence, Dalglish, but I've got him playing with Hwang Ye-hyung. The current
one who plays with Zheng Shiwei.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had Zheng Shiwei with Liliana Natsir.
Okay, I'd put Praveen Jordan in there with Cheng Jin Jen.
Wow.
I think.
Okay.
Wow.
So
that's a massive shout, Dalglish. I think the problem we've got with Praveen Jordan, we talked about him last week for some reason. He's unstoppable when he's playing his best, when he's on his day.
But when he's not his day,
The problem is, he doesn't have his day. It's like 1 in 4 with him or something like that. And I think if I'm going to put a team on the line to win the biggest badminton trophy you've ever seen for the most amount of prize money ever and beat my German friend here, I couldn't pick Praveen Jordan.
Same. I would be terrified for my money.
I disagree with the Carolina Marin shout,
Okay, I like it.
I would disagree with it.
Go on.
Because I know she's won Olympics and all that, but I think sometimes you get this optimal level where you can sometimes be a bit too much, and then I just think she's been good on good stages, but like I said, when you said about consistency, I think Tyson Ying's all around a better player. And then I think if you percentage-wise, if you rely on that game, I think you've got a better shout with Tyson Ying or Yamaguchi or like Wang Yihan. I think I remember her back in the day.
Yeah,
she was very, very.
A very close second pick was Wang Yihan.
Yeah.
I think the others, again, they could all lose to other people. Do you know what I mean? I think Intanon could beat those guys you mentioned. I think PV Sindhu could beat those guys you mentioned on her day. And I think there's just too much uncertainty about the performance you're going to get. And that's, I think, why Jan and I is that it's the big stage. It's one massive event. And I think you're going to pick one person to carry the team.
Yeah.
I'd pick all of them are in. I'd say, you're my team captain. Go out there and win it for me. It's all yours. You know? And I think, that's
how about Prime Tina Bound versus Prime Carolina Marin?
Oh, Marin.
Yeah, no offense to Tina Bound, but it's going to get smashed. 2 sets.
Yeah, like...
They're like me and Bobby at Full Court Danish.
Anytime you like, mate. Hey, last time we played for money, I absolutely robbed you.
Yeah, I had an underlying cough.
Dear me. All right, so that's interesting. I like it. It's good to get a few different perspectives, but I think we need. Who's the biggest badminton geek I know? It's got to be Bethel. I think we'll have to get Bethel onto this subject.
I agree.
Maybe Jan, every time we get somebody on for an interview or for a chat, we'll pose it beforehand and get them to think about it, and they can come with their team and see if anybody can argue it across stronger than ours. I mean, you and I were the same on 2 categories.
Yeah.
Mixed was slightly different. Women's doubles was 4th. If that's not 21-19 in the 3rd, I don't know what is. I think it all comes down to that men's singles, Jan, between you and me. I think we're on.
I need to get some Chinese people on to prove my point.
Fair enough. Dalglish, what's next for you, mate? Uni's almost finished. The Paralympics are being shifted on a year. Are you going full time at some stage?
Yeah, so I've just got a few more presentations to do, and then hopefully, all going well, hopefully moving to Sheffield, obviously holding this degree out, waiting a few years, and then obviously going to commit to helping the GB team. Obviously, it's been put back a year, so technically be a sparrer for them for a year, and then help them get to where they want to be. Also get more experience in an elite training setup more, learn more, and then obviously that's going to progress me further as a player. And then obviously, if depending on what BDF say regarding are they going to add more padded badminton tournaments in until August 24th next year for the Paralympics, and then obviously watch my teammates play in the Paralympics with pride, and then go from there, and then just train on and then see what IPC pick for 2024, and then just see where it takes me. I think I'm in a good position now where I've done university. I've gone through stressful 3 years of university, and now I can start to put the foot on the accelerator and accelerate as a badminton player.
Oh, mate, that sounds like a plan. I think if they put some kind of SH6 doubles in the Olympic program,
all-time SH6 doubles player. Who do you think? I reckon I'm top 5 at least. Come on.
No.
We'll wait and see.
So it's going to be a disappointment now.
I think you might get a chance to prove that. Within the next. You're still young, David. What are you? 21?
21, yeah.
21. So, you've got another 3 Olympics possibly.
Yeah.
To maybe 4 to prove that point. So, yeah. Well, this podcast.
Bobby, you love.
We'll call you back.
Bobby, you love to go with what people could do, like you showed in your Sudirman team. So,
all right.
Isaac is your guy.
No offense, but Dalglish isn't quite Chen Qingchen or Huang Yaqiong. That's all I'm saying.
More like you to Watanabe.
You have got the skills, Dalglish. I'll give you that. Cool. What else are we? Where are we going, Jan? What's
So
What do you want to Dalglish?
So what do you think in 2024? You hoping for men's doubles, I suppose, for SH6?
Correct.
And if doubles gets in, who's your go-to men's doubles partner? Throwing some shade into the Team GB now, putting you on the spot.
I like it.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. SH6, who are we talking about here?
Yeah. Going for the Paralympics.
Does it have to be a GB person?
I mean, you want to try to qualify for the Paralympics, don't you?
That's very good, very good. So, obviously, you've got Kristen and Jack. Two very good players in my eyes. You've got Kristen, power, speed. If he did 100 metres and I did 100 metres against him, I'd still be on the 50-metre mark whilst he finished it, for sure. You've got Jack, skill, loads of skill, deception. But in my personal opinion, I think from the time I've been training with them, I think me and Kristen, I think obviously opposites do attract. So I've got hopefully the skill and the deception to use on the front court to confuse a few opponents. And Kristen's got one of the biggest smashes in the game, predominantly the fastest. So I think he'd cover me at the back whilst I'd hit the winners, hit the reverse straight drop, cross drop, got the slices in there. So I think just me and him together, I think would just be
complement each other.
Yeah, complement each other.
I heard a rumor. I heard this on the grapevine, but about 3 weeks ago, I heard that you two got beat like pretty badly by Jack Shepherd, and I can't remember who was Shep's playing with. It was an awesome part. Oh, Griffin. That's his name, Bobby Griffin. Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, elite athletes train in an environment where some days you aren't going to be your best at the end of the day, Bobby. And I can. If you're going to play that game, I can come back to a time about 4 months ago where it was about Christmas time, I reckon. Just having a bit of a mess up, trying to train a few matches, and I think it was 21-3, and I think that's one of my biggest wins. Obviously, the training setup.
Yeah. Like you say, Christmas time. I was on the Sherry's early doors. Run for breakfast. Yeah, it's my game slightly. I think that's enough again.
So yeah, maybe Isaac, just talk about a little bit about what's playing SH6 like. What's the biggest difference to maybe regular athletes playing? Like, what's like a big difference?
I think it's a lot of lungs. I mean, you see some of the rounds on YouTube, or when we look at game, it's a lot of clear drop. It's a lot of getting out of the deep corners and just banging it back out, avoiding playing the cross, because you're not, obviously with our stature, you're not going to win off a straight smash or a jump out. It's a lot of, it's very tactically when it's very tactical game when I first got into the game, because a lot of my strengths are trying to hit the third shot winner, like the reverse drop or the cross, and in SH6 doubles, that's not gonna win all the time, because if I'm gonna play the cross drop, it's then gonna put my partner in danger of covering 3 corners. So it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of mind games, I think, especially because compared to SH6 singles, a lot of the games can be over quite quick. A lot of the rallies can be under 10 shots, but SH6 doubles, it's very similar to the women's doubles. So I found recently that I learn a lot better from viewing able-bodied women's doubles games than standing men's doubles, because just the ability of the able-bodied, we can't do that. So it's just a lot of the time being patient, trying to a lot of the mind games coming into it, and then just playing very simple. But then again, you get some rallies that can be quite a lot of diving, and it's just I really enjoy it. Just the psychology side, I like getting pumped up, and I like hitting winners from long rallies. So that's what I'd say.
I like
thorough answer. I like it, Dalglish. Yeah, absolutely. What's your favourite thing about para competing? Tournaments and stuff.
I think just the ability. I think I'm in a very lucky position at the age I'm in. At the position I'm in, obviously I can have this like dual elite athlete career. I can obviously study at university, but also play a few tournaments in the year. And I think I'm in a very privileged position because you get to travel the world. You get to meet. I think para athletes are a lot more friendly compared to like society in the UK. Like, I think everyone respects each other. I think everyone knows of each other, and if anyone's got a problem, they're there to speak to. I just think no matter whether you've been injured or whether you've taken a year out, no matter whether you go to the next tournament, you'll still feel welcomed. I think some of the standard now is actually second to none. I think some of the games are actually incredible, and I think for me personally, I think just getting out there, it just gives me more motivation to want to compete more. And I can do that now, obviously finishing university, which I'm very pleased about. So,
yeah,
it's actually really annoying me now because I'm bugging to get back on court, and like this has come at such a worst time because finished uni, I can train now, but now obviously we've been told to stay home, so I just can't wait to get back out.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that.
Give everyone a few taxis.
Oh dear. All good stuff.
Well, I have another question. So, I saw recently on like the Team GB Instagram account that you guys pushed the net down a little bit for SH6 training and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Would it be beneficial to lower the net in the competition for SH6 or maybe even wheelchair?
Yeah. Tough question. I can agree and disagree with it because I think from the age of 10 years old when I first started playing badminton, I just had to adapt to whatever the situation was, and I think that's speaking on behalf of everyone else. So I think if it was to be lowered, I think that'd put a spanner in the works. I think just I think it adapt the game too much. But then again, when we did that training, I really felt like I was hitting. We were doing fast and flat, and I felt like Mohammed Hassan on the defence. I felt incredible. So there's an element of that, but if you was to put that in the game, I'd put it into like 8 years' time or 10 years' time. But at the minute, I just like the way it is, just because I think it's a fair playing level field. But obviously, I'm a short stature, but I'm actually pretty small for a guy with dwarfism. So for me to win a point, I've really got to fight and get out of these. Take on the rear corner, I've got to really fight and get out of that corner and get back to the middle. So I think if the net was shorter, I'd be at even more disadvantage, especially with the likes of Vitor Tavares who can jump pretty high, and Naga. I think I'd be at complete disadvantage. So at the minute, I think it's just perfect as it is, and I think keep it where it is.
Yeah, you got any thoughts on that, Bobby? Maybe.
It's a really good question. I mean, when I first saw the SH6 classes play, and it interested me as to whether everything should be scaled down. If you're going to reduce the net, then surely you should also reduce the court dimensions. I don't know. The difficulty is these guys are so quick. They're not quite as quick as let's say an able-bodied player, but for para they certainly keep up, and they're as quick as any SL3s and 4s, and obviously wheelchairs. They're also strong. They can clear out no problem. You know what I mean? Their smash is powerful. It might not be steep, but it's powerful, and they can hit end to end as easily as anybody else. So it's tricky. So I think if you reduced the court, it'd be too easy to win on attack, and if you reduce the net, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. I think again the angles you could then create, not being able to, let's say I'm on defensive base on a singles court and I take one step and a half dive just to pick up a smash. These guys couldn't do that. They haven't got the reach to do that. And I think if the net was lower, the smashes would come down so steep that they couldn't defend.
Yeah,
I don't think you could reach the tram lines. I don't think you could reach the sides early enough. No matter how quick you are, you haven't got the range, you haven't got the reach to do it. It'd be like watching an 8-year-old defend an adult smash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably best, and also you've got to employ that in all the tournaments. To change the court dimensions and stuff. It takes a lot of setup, a lot of technical.
Yeah, that's true.
Around the world, and that would be hard to employ. Plus, all the SH6 clubs have been training all their life to play on that type of net and that size of court, and I think you change it, it's going to make a huge difference. And I think
massive.
It'd be hard to reduce your smashes and drops and stuff. I don't know. Maybe you'd evolve quickly and maybe you'd learn and adapt quickly. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'd be difficult. Why? What do you think, Jan?
Yeah, I actually agree with everything you said. I think just for the simplicity of the sport, I think para-badminton is complicated enough with all the different classes and court dimensions we have already. I think it's not practical to lower the net in any way for competition or anything.
Yeah.
But it's still an interesting thought experiment to know what it's like, see what it's like. Maybe just test it for one event, something like that.
You hear about we had a training camp for England a few years back, Dalglish. Do you remember, in Worcester? Were you there?
The Worcester Performance Centre camp.
Yeah, so we had the Worcester, which is a region in the UK, Performance Centre. So the local juniors, the top level juniors from that area, joined in with us on our para training camp, and to give the able-bodied juniors a feel of all the different para-badminton categories, we got them to play all the different levels. So obviously we put people in wheelchairs and played games against wheelchair players. We made people we gave people a stability. So just putting your non-racket arm inside your t-shirt, for example, to try and replicate how you play an SU5 class.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we did for the standing classes.
I know for the short stature we did a volleyball net.
Yeah, so the short stature classes, we raised the level of the net. We used like the volleyball net, and we raised it up high, and then put the badminton nets across that height. So you've got an able-bodied height player like yourself, Jan, or myself, height-wise, we're the same as able-bodied, racket high in the air, and we could only barely reach the top of the net, even with the racket. So we had to, you can't smash, because obviously you can't get above the net. It was so funny. Trying to win rallies when you're playing drop shots and actually hitting the shot rather than down. It was really weird. Good fun, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah.
I think we hung off the basketball court, actually. I can't remember. It was high anyway.
It's interesting. I think there's a lot of improvements maybe to be had still in para-badminton. I don't know. I think we need to do something about wheelchair badminton as well. Like maybe allow net courts or whatever, because it still feels weird to hit a net court and don't have it count. For me at least.
Yeah, we always talk about that. Our head coach Rich is always saying that you should, we practice it, right? Especially for doubles.
Yeah.
Return a serve, short serve, return a serve, net cord. It's not uncommon. It's you train for it. We always have. I don't understand why they. Yeah, agree. A net cord winner in wheelchair. I think it should count.
Whew, you see some celebrations there, wouldn't you?
It'd be quite demoralising to lose a match on a net cord, wouldn't it? I mean, it is, but then it is for
Well, then
To be able-
some of them could have the ability to get it back. You see, especially now.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
JJ
know
or whatever. He might be fast
is
enough.
Kuj
That's a
Yimao,
big-
is that what it's called from China? Wheelchair one boy.
Choose him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty quick for a wheelchair one.
I got a question for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Hit it.
Specialist doubles players, aren't you, boys?
Yeah.
If you was to pick one para player to play doubles with for one tournament only, it could be a former player who's retired or a current para badminton player, any classes. Who would you pick and why?
In which but what? So we play just doubles with
Yeah. Could be any class.
Okay. Well, I'll admit, Jan and I did quite well one year, didn't we, Jan? We went out to Turkey and took on the SU5s, got to the final.
Was that your debut tournament together as well?
Yeah.
I think
We,
it was.
we only played 2 tournaments.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
win percentage.
We got destroyed by the Japanese in Thailand, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I would pick Chea, to be honest.
Cheer.
Yeah, probably. I like the Indonesian that we don't see that often. What's his name? Not Dewey. Odi. Yes, Odi Kuntra, whatever.
Yeah.
He hits it hard. He's got a big smash.
He's very cool as well.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Chao Ten Chen on a call.
I think, yeah, Odi or maybe Suryo, he hits it hard. Yeah. I think I'd need somebody fast and big hitting behind me. I'd like to take the net. Yeah. Yeah. She is a good shout. She is a very good shout.
He's just the smartest of all of those players, I think.
Yeah, very clever player.
But still, here, I think I'm the only one here that's 1-0 against Chea in competitive matches.
How did you manage that?
He played, I don't know, were you there in Turkey this year or last year? The first?
Oh, in
Yeah, in mixed. We played mixed. It was the first tournament Katrin and I played.
Was he on it?
And he played with the Polish SL3.
Ah, yeah.
And we beat them 21-19.
Katarzyna Zibek.
Yeah. We beat them 21-19 in the third or something.
Oh, what a win. What a win.
I never lost to her in Barts, actually. All you do is push the shuttle at her.
Yeah, I agree.
To make sure he can't get a shot. That's all you need.
Yeah, but Chea is so smart. He's just... Somehow he's in front of her, even if you just try to hit at her. It was really weird. But still, I'm 1-0 against Chea. Who can say that, eh? 100% win rate.
That's quite impressive. I've got
Considering
a...
I can't play with him in a para badminton tournament, defeats the object. Yeah.
So.
I've got a 100% win rate with Chia as a partner, actually, which is all true. Yeah. Where were we? I think we were in Spain, and Chia and I played doubles against Richard Morris and Katie Hall, the Scottish coach. And
I was there. I remember.
Chia and I won 23-21. It was good. Yeah. His racket skills, though, incredible.
The scenes on practice day. The scenes.
Exactly. Practice court. Some of my favourite games have been in the warm up hall. You have some epics. It's great. We play some 3-on-3 stuff like that. It's great fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Someone's got an email then. I've seen an email.
Yeah, that might have been me. Sorry, boys.
That's when you know you have to push back a bit on the competitive career when your best games are in the warm-up hall.
The journeyman that is Griff.
When was your... could you pick out your most memorable moment in para badminton, boys?
Oh, for me it's easy. It's last year's being in the final in the big hall in the St. Jakobshalle in Basel. That was pretty epic. Even though we got destroyed.
It was a huge day, but yeah, you guys suffered badly. I had to commentate on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I don't know. I think
Bobby Griffin, Four Nations, James Binney, Bobby Griffin, 2013, February.
Well, I've had some good. Yeah, you miss out on the Four Nations. You've missed out on
Tell you what.
some good national badminton by not. You guys don't have that. It's over the years. It's been some thrillers.
Some classics.
3-4 times a year. Don't know. It has to be an international. I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. There's been lots of good games.
Beating me probably in singles. It must have been a big win.
Spanish. I think that's the Spanish international. I don't know what year it was, but it was their 4th one. I've got the t-shirt and the trophy. I think you and I were the final, weren't we? That was my first international singles win.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had some good ones.
Playing in Guatemala in that weird hall. You were there, weren't you? 2011.
That wasn't even badminton. That was like out. It was like playing on the beach with your family or something.
The start of air badminton.
Yes, exactly. That was awful.
The venue had like these big. There were windows, but there was no glass in it.
Yeah, there were huge windows with no glass in it, and the conditions. It was actual wind. It wasn't drift. It was wind. Yeah, the shuttle would drift. A normal clear that was going to land in the back corner would land 2 meters long one end, and half court the other end. It was ridiculous. Tough going. Yeah.
So yeah, that's like last question for Isaak, and then we end the episode, I suppose.
I think we should.
Yeah. So like, give us your 3 best Instagram accounts to follow in para badminton and non-para badminton. So the people that actually listened this long can actually like gain something from this episode and get some new Instagram account to follow.
I like it.
Oh, so 3 people that I think would enjoy listening to this.
No, like the people that listen to this should follow, just to have some.
Oh, want to follow my journey?
Exactly. Like, you give your Instagram account, and then 3 people that have cool Instagram accounts in para badminton and maybe non-para badminton, if you can think of any.
Obviously, you've got my incredible Instagram account at Isaak.Dalglish. Isaak spelled with a K, not a C. So I'd have so people I like to follow.
Yeah.
I always like to look at Anders Andersen Instagram. I think he's one of my favourite players, especially with his YouTube as well. I think the way he said he's going to be the next one at the Scottish Grand Prix 2015, I think that was a motivation for me. And then I'd put in Andrew Moorcroft's Instagram account. I think he's in a similar situation to where I am. I think if he gets his head down, I think he could get his head down and train and hopefully succeed in para badminton. I know he's just finished university as well, so
I don't follow him. I'm gonna request it now. I like that. So
I just think he is a very humble guy. I think he's a very good person to speak to, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the tournament circuit again, hopefully.
Okay, and last one?
I just said my 3rd one.
Was that 3, was it?
He said himself, so...
Oh. Obviously, yeah.
Told me to...
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a fun question to end all our episodes on when we have guests.
Yeah, I like that, Jan. Okay, that is cool. Dalglish, thank you, mate, for being there. Thank you for pitching in. We'll get you back on one day if you're happy to.
No worries, boyo.
We'll do one from the tournament. We keep talking about it. We'll do one from the tournament someday, and we'll just keep the guests coming in, Jan. I think it'll be good fun.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's the end of the episode. See you guys next week, hopefully, with maybe our Uber Cups, and maybe we find another guest to bring on.
Sounds good.
All right. See you, boys.
Bye.
See you. Take it easy.